What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Clay Ratterman here, bringing you guys some more news on the current XRP situation. So we're going to be going on to the daily hodl. I just have a couple articles I want to show you guys on basically what people are talking about in terms of Ripple and the regulations that they're pushing for. So right here, this article says, Bitcoin analyst says XRP will annihilate almost every other altcoin. Here is why. So goes on to say, Crypto Whale, one of the main guys in the space, is saying that the only project in the entire market that is pushing for crypto regulations is XRP. They know that once these regulations are added, it will completely annihilate almost every other altcoin and make XRP's demand skyrocket. So guys, something that a lot of people don't really understand, or a lot of people, I guess, aren't on board with, is that the people who control the financial systems, the current financial systems that govern and run not only the United States but other countries as well, the people that are in charge of they are absolutely going to have some say or some component in the cryptocurrency space. So by having 7,000 total coins in the space, seeing that there's only one coin talking about regulations with them and trying to become compliant within these systems, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that out of 7,000 coins, there's really only one. And obviously, there's a reason for that. The reason is because this entire space of cryptocurrency is supposed to be based on decentralization. So they're trying to make it so that the systems that be are not at play, and that nobody is in control of the money. However, if you guys just look at the way society has run and society has operated for so long, it would be almost crazy to think that just overnight they're gonna switch off, having any form of regulatory control in the finance space, especially when it comes to transacting and moving money around. So I think that's just a foolish way to think, especially over the short term. And, while I do agree that Bitcoin is, the better, best store of wealth you could have, because it is fully decentralized and it is really not within someone else's control. Ripple is also decentralized, but playing to the regulations and playing with these people that are, in power in the central banks. So I think it just makes sense to bet, especially in the short term, on the company that's actually working with the central banks or working with all these major partnerships. It just makes more sense to me that you would want to bet. If we were playing odds, you'd be like, yeah, I'd want to store my money long term in something like Bitcoin, where nobody can mess with my wealth. But if I'm trying to make money as an investment over a short period of time, it makes more sense to bet on the people that have been in control of the money for all of this, for all of history, essentially. So it makes more sense to bet on the company that is partnering up with the central banks than it does to bet against them. Because basically what's going to happen is, once regulations are released, or if, any type of regulations are added, you're going to see these 7,000 coins, majority of them are not going to be in regulation. One, because it's probably against some of their ideologies, but also, two, they're not currently working toward that. So they're going to be left in the dust, meaning a lot of these 7,000 are going to go away. So just on that principle alone, XRP will probably see some crazy appreciation once you see, the market cap of any of these other coins dropping off. So it goes on to say, he's been involved in XRP since 2013. There's a reason why it's always held its top 3 to 5 spot. What else? It says people often hate on XRP because it hasn't moved up for 2.5 years. And here are 3 really good reasons why. So the time range is so tiny in the investment world. Be patient. So that is really, really important. I think a lot of people are expecting what they saw happen to Bitcoin over a small period of time, where it was in the, I guess, under $1, and then it slowly all of a sudden became this behemoth and it's thousands and thousands of dollars. I think people are expecting that to happen. or were expecting that to happen over the past 3 years with XRP. And because it hasn't done that, they think that, the opportunity is potentially lost. And then number two, XRP is up more than 10,000% since 2014. That's crazy to think about, because if you invested back in 2014, you'd have that crazy amount. The problem is most people that know about XRP have either invested in it semi-recently, or they invested in it when it became a big thing during the bull run of 2017, which is where most people probably bought at the top, or more likely than not, they bought when ultimately they ended up losing money on it. So they've probably purchased at a higher price than it is right now, which causes a lot of people to not want to be patient. And then number three here says it has steadily held its position as top 5 coin for several years. So it says he understands why there are so many haters. Again, kind of like what I just said, in 2017, a lot of people bought at the top. These losses have turned people into haters. Yeah, so I agree with them. I think that once regulations do come out, it's going to change the space entirely. So I'm excited for that to happen. The last piece I want to show you guys on kind of the other end of the spectrum. So there's one end of the spectrum that is regulations. That's pretty normal. That's something that we're most likely going to see happen. On the other end, there's crazy conspiracy theories, which actually do play a big factor, because really people buy on emotion, they buy on speculation, and that's not what we're gonna bet on essentially in terms of XRP increasing. We really want to see the utility of it. However, with that said, conspiracy theories and things of this nature do play a role, because as you can see from 2017, when it went from whatever it was at, 30 cents, 80 cents, all the way to like $3.90. That was all based on speculation that it was going to be hitting the exchange Coinbase. So, whether or not people are betting on speculation is something you have to take into account. And a lot of people are upset about these conspiracy theories. And then a lot of people are not upset about them, and they're, kind of banking on the conspiracy theories. So, popular crypto investor says he's considering ditching the XRP community because of a proliferation of crazy conspiracy theories. I might be leaving this community on the basis of content provision, reality, so much conspiracy. I'm getting frustrated. This is about the mindset in general. Yeah, some people kind of rebutted and said, got attacked on to the conspiracy side. They're like, I would argue that the inescapable truth is that when we discuss a global financial reset, which actually could happen, or an upgrade in financial systems, which also actually could happen, we will forever be correlating the financial elite's goals alongside the technology itself. So there's the whole conspiracy side, where there's a cabal that's controlling everything. There's the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, these global elites that are, they quote unquote own the Federal Reserve. They're sucking the wealth out of America and out of a bunch of other countries. They're trying to move to a globalist agenda. There's all that whole conspiracy side, which honestly may or may not be true. I mean, I'm kind of open-minded to it. I've watched a lot of stuff, and I do believe some of it has some basis in reality. However, there's other things that I don't agree with as well. So whether or not that's true, it doesn't really matter. What matters is if this stuff did happen, if there was a global financial reset, or if there was an upgrade in financial systems to a quantum system and going off of Swift. If either of these happen, that's what matters. And so let's just say we assign some sort of probability to it. Like, let's say global financial reset and moving to a quantum system that's, on RippleNet, for example. Let's say the percentage of that happening is 5%. There's a 5% chance, just an arbitrary number, a 5% chance that that happens. If that did happen, then the result would be the price of XRP would skyrocket. And that's the conspiracy that people, one of the conspiracies that people are talking about, where they're saying XRP is going to go to the moon. And then people are getting mad about people saying that because, they don't want to get drawn into these conspiracy theories. But even if it's a 5% chance of that happening, you have a 5% chance to invest in an opportunity right now that if this did happen, there's any basis in truth to it, you would become ridiculously wealthy, and your risk, like the risk side, would be only losing, like, let's say you put in 15 grand and this happened, you'd probably make millions of dollars. But if you put in 15 grand and this didn't happen, well, you could still make money. And then if that didn't happen, you put in 15 grand and you lost all of it, well, you still lost 15 grand for the potential upside of millions of dollars. So there's no other bet that's out there. If you guys just think logically about it, what other bet other than, like, you can't even say that about penny stocks. And this is way, way more legit than these fake penny stocks that are just pump and dump schemes. Like, this coin has so many partnerships. It has so much backing. It's been around for so long. It has so much utility. There's so many things in favor of this that you can't really even compare it to something that's like 10 times riskier that could have that same effect on your wealth. So in my head, it doesn't make sense why people wouldn't want to take that bet. Like, if you're a betting person, even if you're not, like, if you just have 1% of your portfolio or 10% of your portfolio in risky assets, quote unquote risky, why would you not choose something like this where the upside is so incredibly high? Like, skyrocket to 589. Yeah, people are saying, there's a lot of speculation about, like, the market cap, like it would have to be 58.9 trillion for it to be that number. There's a lot of rebuttals to that, like how the market cap works. Guys, like, that's all that stuff's, it's great to speculate, great to think about. And you should, because you should be thinking that any investment that you make, you obviously want it to go up. You don't want to base things on emotion, but you definitely want to have an underlying sentiment that it's going to go up in price. But overall, I just don't understand why. I mean, even this person, I get, being a little upset, but I mean, guys, those conspiracy theorists, they're right, a handful of times. I wouldn't say more times than not, but they're definitely right on a lot of things. So if this is just one of them that they happen to be right on, then you could profit ridiculously off of it. So this quote says, "I know where this space ends up. I know what digital assets represent. I know Ripple's ties in the system are real. I know XRP has utility. I know what the internet of value represents." Yeah, so he's saying when, not if. So I agree. I think it's going to continue to go up. I just think it's funny watching people freak out, and this guy's almost going to ditch one of the best opportunities just because there's conspiracy theories. So that's called emotional decision making. You definitely don't want to do that. But I understand what he's saying for sure. But I also am on the team of some of these conspiracy theorists on a lot of topics, because, I mean, guys, if you just look at, let me just pull this up, US debt clock, and I've showed this before. Like, there's not that crazy of a conspiracy. Like, where did this come from? And then you start looking into the Federal Reserve, and you're like, okay, well, who is in charge of that? Who, is it a government agency? Like, there's a lot of reasons why these quote unquote conspiracies pop up. And, we have a certain president in place right now who is definitely not, dousing the fire in terms of the conspiracy. He's probably adding to it. So I get what they're saying, and I definitely think there's some basis in truth to a lot of it. And so that's great for this specific opportunity. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you smash the like button. That is probably the only thing that I want you guys to do. Just smash it like at least 3 times so that the third time it stays. Sometimes if you smash it once, it like can break and stuff like that. So make sure you guys hit it 3 times, and then also drop a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Going to the moon.